Hi, I'm Delon,
And I'm Lee G.
and we are Lee G and Delon. We used to do beatboxing and rapping in the lunchroom, and Lee had this music class, and he used to cut that class because the teacher never went to that class. And he just
Right.
came in the lunchroom one day and saw us beatboxing and rapping, and he came and started rapping, and then he asked me to teach him how to beatbox, and he didn't learn how to beatbox very well, but we started making music together after that.
I'm actually pretty good at beatboxing now. And we I remember there was some gangster rapper guy who was like really like a skateboarding guy, but like turned gangster rapper overnight, and he was like rapping over Delon's beats talking about killing people and selling drugs. And I was like, I know I can do something better than this guy. So like I wrote something, and that's pretty much like the story of our career.
Or the introduction to our career.
Yeah.
We try to stay away from hip hop culture, which tends to glorify self. So when we write our music and when I make music, we try to make it so that it doesn't glorify self, so that we don't talk about how great we are, how much women we have, all that stuff. We try to say things that will help. A lot of it is humorous. We actually call our music folk hop, because it's made for the benefit of the people, you know what I'm saying? Of the folk, I guess, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the philosophy on music. Whatever we do, we try to make it so that it can help everyone around us. If it doesn't help or contribute to anything, then it's scrapped and it doesn't end up on the, our major productions.
Yeah. I wonder when I'll feel comfortable on the camera.
Huh?
When I'll like start feeling comfortable
feel-
on the camera. Oh,
You don't feel comfortable on the camera? I
I
should have not had my thing buttoned up just now. That's why I felt so constrained.
What the heck? It's like you got me on a string tied around my neck. Your dark magic in full swing, direct effect. And you're so far back, we don't connect directly. Past memories haunt and stress me, yet I'm steady stepping. Can't escape your deadly phantom presence. Indifference was your wicked weapon. Let me be inside my mind's dreams every night, which time would set me free. Sitting on the tip of an iceberg, floating in an ocean, sinking in the depths. Shivering, wicked wind stings, short of breath, swing between life's tribulations and tests. Sticking to what I do best, taking the time to confess. On and on, keep climbing, eyeing the cliff. Wonder if one of these days I'll stop trying to be alive and finally live out you from time to time, like a splinter stuck in my mind.
I'm a Christian, and he wasn't. It's amazing because I was a Christian when we first met, and he was not a Christian at all. He didn't believe any of that stuff, I think. And basically we used to have arguments, to be honest, because he used to curse on some of the raps, you know what I'm saying? And I used to be like, okay, dude, I can't, you can't be cursing on the rap, you know what I'm saying? And we actually battled with that for a little bit, but slowly but surely, we're meeting on a common ground where he's, I'm realizing some things that he wants to do, and he is realizing some things that I want to do, and we're, learning to balance based on that.
Yeah, and I'd say overall, like, the whole cursing thing has been, like, helpful because, whenever I'd want to say a curse word, there's, like, infinite other amount of words that I could say, usually a lot more descriptive than whatever the curse word would be. And, yeah, like, I don't know if I necessarily call myself a Christian now, but, like, I read the Bible a lot and go to Bible study, and, like, I take a lot out of that. And so, definitely can see it having an influence on lyrics and, my perspective. We're just gonna, like, paint a picture for you and take you inside of our little world, but we're not gonna, like, tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. More just, like, tell you what we're doing, what's working for us. If that has an influence on anyone, for the better, then great.
Right, and the thing is, we don't necessarily preach to people, but the music that we have, there's a lot of it. In a lot of it, there's an underlying message of wisdom. You see, and preaching about God doesn't necessarily mean you're saying, "Yo, dude, follow Christ." Follow God. You know what I'm saying? Usually, you can also preach about God in just telling people a lesson that, you know, God would have you learn. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible, there's stories about prostitutes, true stories, you know what I'm saying? That the morals and the lessons that you take to them point to the qualities and characteristics and attributes of God, you know what I'm saying? And so that's, in a lot of our music, you can take away just lessons that can be found in scriptures, you know what I'm saying? And we just, like Mommy Flies Away, where it talks about a child who was mean to his mother, and the mother decides that she's just going to leave one day in whatever fashion she decided to leave, teaching that you should honor your parents because you don't know when they would be gone from when they would, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good example of, like, when I wrote that song, it was just like a little kid story, like, but there's like people have been able to take a lot out of it that I wasn't necessarily trying to like put in it. I wasn't like trying to make it seem like you should honor your parents or trying to make it seem like parents should you know, raise their children right or any. I was just telling a story. And so like I feel like the better you tell a story, the more people can take out of it, however they see it.
Yellow on the window, and it looked mean. Every one of its eyes are in the back of me. Each place I move, glued to my 2 feet. Let me come close to see where you flew. Please, you won't let me be. You should never leave. You don't wanna cook, why don't we order the whip?
One fine day, my mommy flew away.
Way with the breeze, flying with the bees. Please, mommy, I'm hungry. We get the need.
One fine day, my mommy flew away in the breeze.
Frankly, I could care less. I'm leaving. I have my reasons. You want me to say yes to everything? Well,
I make the beats, right? And a lot of times when I make beats, I give them all the time when I make beats, I give them names. So a lot of times that's the basic foundation. Like I made a beat called Play-Doh and Bubbles, and Lee wrote a song called Play-Doh and Bubbles, and I wrote I made a beat called Ambient Planet, and he wrote a song called Ambient World.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how we feed off of each other. A lot of times the beat comes first, and then the lyric. Mostly that's what happens in our case. The beat comes
Mostly.
first, and he works off of the environment that I present in the beat.
Yeah, like Mommy Flies Away, Space Lady.
Yeah, all those songs. That was the original name of
Yeah.
that. And the monk.
The Monk.
The
yeah.
monk was originally called the Cathedral.
Oh yeah.
So that was, that's how that was pulled from that.
But yeah, like Delon's beats are like really visual, and so like a lot of the time the name will just describe the imagery that's like in the beat, and so I'll just go with that.
I had a dream of just you and me on a desert sand, watching the sky change colors from blue to green to red to black, and in the sky there was a rose. I didn't even wonder why. I already knew. I took it from the bleeding sky and handed it to you. Then I said a poem went like this. Here it goes. Yo, Linda, you're my soul's desire, the one that I confide and the one I admire. And then the rose caught fire, and Linda grinned and laughed at me. Casual from that moment, our love would be a tragedy. Linda pulled 2 knives out of her eyes and started stabbing me, laughing and expanding on my gashes with the passion. See, I felt that she loved me through the pain of my heart, and she stabbed me and I felt my body tearing apart. I remember how she pierced me with that menacing grin, but even more I remember feeling the passion within. Then I was healed. I looked at my chest, there were no more wounds. Then I said, Linda, you love me and I love you too. She put a finger on her mouth telling me hush, and she turned into a buzzard and flew into the dusk. I want Linda, 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 Linda.
But you can expect to see from song to song a completely different image, right? And you can also expect to hear mixes that are not typical of hip hop. We played our music for a lot of producers, and they would say stuff like, you all sound really, you sound like you're trying to be more, pop than hip hop, or you're mixing it. Yeah, they criticize our mixing that it's not hip hop. So you hear things that doesn't necessarily sound like typical, well, it's not hip hop, but even though it's rap, it doesn't sound like typical rap, and it's really colorful. A lot of our songs are really colorful, happy. We impersonate British accents, Oh, and we are Lee G and Delon.